couple hundred years ago, the only thing you had to worry about was a hangover.
You telling me you're an investigator?
More or less.
Today, because of your curse thingy, you can't sleep with anyone.
I'm not a taint. I'm your boss.
Or else you might feel a moment of true happiness.
You got a real addiction to the brooding part of life.
Lose your soul.
Except for the bulk of it, where I was nearly tortured to death.
Become evil again.
You're a demon hunter.
Road demon hunt.
And kill everyone.
It's fucking fantastic.
I love that sound.
Thanks, Cornelia. I always appreciate your perspective.
Hello.
Good morning.
Welcome to Ale with Angel. I'm Rex.
I'm Josh.
Today on Ale with Angel, we are reviewing Season 3, Episode 13, Waiting in the Wings.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wings go flap, flap. Now get in there.
No, we're supposed to wait.
Like a little duckling being kept under his mother's wing. That's the reference they're making here, I'm pretty sure.
No, I think it has to do with, like, you know, stage left.
Oh,
and
the
right.
wings of a theater?
Yeah.
That was completely lost on me.
It's weird, considering your line of work.
Yeah, and where we're currently at.
Yes.
Very weird indeed.
Yes.
I'm glad you noticed. Speaking of weird things...
We have a whole list of them.
Fuck-a-doodle-doo. Do we have a whole list of them? Here's a very weird thing. It's a list of people who are giving us money for some reason.
Apparently, maybe they think we're entertaining or funny.
We would like to. We would like them to keep doing that. So we are going to stroke their egos real quick. We have a brand new one. Tracy Kidd, thank you for joining us. And Willie Chalker, Liam Neville, Monica Fonseca, Tsuba Spike, Audrey Two French Names, Bridget McCloy, Did I See a Thylacine, Ali B, Nathan Lancy, Dulcinea, Rachel Doodle-Doo, DTS, Cubby the Seal, Mr. Tabalicious, Sandra Craig, Jay Sommer, Catherine Parkinson, Karen Moon, Chris V-Man, Pat Like Turtle, bad at changing their name heaps, like really though.
Yeah.
Two-Tone Don't Fucking Call Bradley Cooper Gnome, Father Defenestrato, Matthew and DeDoodle-Doo, sorry. Not sorry. Kelly MC, Jesse Rain, didn't mean to dead name you. Alex from the Heart, and Carrie Phillips.
Thank you so much. Without you, this show literally isn't possible.
Yep. Review us on iTunes.
Yes. We need more reviews.
And when we get to 75 reviews, we're doing another hoodie giveaway. Unfortunately, we have closed the Beer with Buffy shop, so you cannot buy them outright anymore, but we will still order them on an as per needed basis.
Yeah, we're currently in the works of trying to figure out an alternative method of doing a shop than what we were doing. The other way we were doing it, it was just costing us too much money.
Yeah, we could have bought a hoodie a month for like 2 years for what we were paying.
Right, and we have very, very low traffic on our shop, so it just wasn't cost effective.
Yep, so that's why the website looks different now. We're just back to the free website.
Bear with us. We're changing some things around there.
If anybody out there knows of a good free way to run an online store, let us know.
Yeah,
but last time we checked, there's not really many good options.
Because we don't need something that actually does the shipping and everything. We just need something that is the shop that you can check out. Because Printful, the place that makes our merch, they ship the stuff out.
Yeah.
So it's not like we need, a manufacturer or anything like that.
That was nice, having that all automated for us, but not cost effective.
If you really want something, though, we will figure out a way to get it to you.
Well, there's lots of ways on the internet in these ages. If, you throw a little bit of money at it. Won't be a problem.
So then we're on to the mom synopsis. Let's get this show on the road.
Joshua! What are you doing, Joshua? What if I were to say, none of your damned business, you cackling banshee? I'd say you're my property and you owe me a lifetime of back rent. Sounds about right. Well, it's a private matter, what I'm doing anyway. What about privates? Speaking of privates, where the hell are my grandchildren? Well, they don't exist that I know of. And if they did, I wouldn't tell you. Well, it's no wonder. You're just like Wesley, Joshua. You just haven't gone on enough possessive, jealous tirades. That's how you get a woman, Joshua. Oh, yeah? Is that what Dad did? I thought he found you in the wreckage of an overturned zoo transport truck. wrote this several days ago, so this is as much of a surprise to me as it is to you. It's all about ownership, Joshua. Possession is 9/10 of the law. You lock someone down and make sure they don't have any fun ever, and if they enjoy anyone else's presence in any capacity, and you have uncontrollable emotions about it, well, that's their fault entirely. Wow, that's some good advice, Mom. Sounds like you were a bit inspired by today's episode of Angel. Angel? I'm still waiting for the musical episode of Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Get your shit together, Joshua. So on today's episode of Angel, Angel buys the A-Team tickets to the ballet with Gunn's money. Except for Lorne. Nobody likes Lorne, I guess.
Yeah.
But the ballet has a dark secret and an obviously evil director. Spoiler alert, it's a time and space bubble that forces his favorite dancer to repeat her performance for him forever and ever because he was jealous. So they have to brute force their way out of it by sucking away the magical energy powering it. In the meantime, Angel and Cordelia don't complain very much about having a wet and wild makeout session while possessed by two spirits that are calling out for help. Gunn hooks up with Fred, Wesley is a sad puppy left out in the cold, and Cordelia's long-lost love from Pylea comes back to her. The end.
Ladies, gentlemen, spiny-headed looking creatures. As soon as the sun goes down, as soon as the sun goes down, vampire. Competition is a beautiful thing.
So we open at the hotel. Wesley is daydreaming about Fred while researching demons. Cordy wonders if he's actually like really into the multi-breasted demon that he's researching.
Yeah, I'm sorry. He is absolutely drooling over that six-titted demon.
Right.
All right? That's my headcanon, and I'm sticking with it. Anyway, it's not really a six-titted demon that he's drooling over, because, Fred only has two that we know of.
I like that there's a bit of, like, confusion on Wes's part of whether or not, like, I think she only has two.
Can you confirm that, Cordelia? Have you checked recently? Or, you know what, even at all ever. Just, I'll go with old information on that. That's just fine. But no, Fred, the six-titted demon, who will be coming to avenge her lover in a month or something, is drool fodder for Wesley. Cordelia wonders when Wesley will ask Fred out. He's waiting for the iron to be hot, hard air quotes, or whatever that means. Cordy teases him that he used to think she was the most stunning creature in the universe, but I think she just gets a kick out of making him squirm.
I have a quote of the day out of this. After he's talking about, I have to wait for the iron to get hot or whatnot, Cordy says, well, get it done, Johnny Reb, so I can hear about something else, and you can do something else besides feeling your hot iron.
I just take that shit for granted now. That one didn't even register.
No,
that one didn't even clock for me.
There are a surprising number of dick and masturbation jokes in this episode.
That's not surprising considering the content of this episode. Right. They were just like, oh, baby, we're not holding back this time. Oh, yeah, all for Mo. So, yeah, I think she just likes making Wesley squirm.
Yeah.
And also occasionally wants a little bit of self-affirmation. Who doesn't?
Exactly.
Because she's pontificating about how when she was a ditzy bitch, her words, she could have had any man she wanted from Sunnydale, and now that she's all superhero-y, again, her words, the best she can do is a ghost who's good with a loofah.
And this answers some fucking questions we've had.
There we have it, folks. Dennis is totally perving on Cordy, and Cordy's not saying no.
Nope, she's good with it. Because there's a very awkward pause. She's like, just pretend I didn't say that last part.
Wesley's an absolute gentleman about it.
He lets her off the hook.
Yeah.
It's like, I missed that last thing you said.
I didn't hear a word you said. But also, I want to know, what can you actually do with a loofah? Last I checked, you don't want to exfoliate your vagina.
Yeah, that sounds like it would not be good.
Unless I'm misunderstanding the purpose of a loofah. Generally.
I don't think you are.
I don't think I am either.
I don't think you are.
It's for the same reason I need to stop buying high grit soap so that I can wash my ass properly. let me tell you, that's not comfortable.
That might be a little too much information for the podcast, Josh.
Yeah, I was just realized I actually wrote that down too, but I left the last part out. Because several days ago, me was apparently much smarter than today, me. That's all right. I'm gonna leave it in. It's a little Easter egg for the listeners.
Is today you just a little too chafed to let it drop?
You saw right through me. It's because that high grit soap. It's fucking perforating me, man.
I personally hate high grit soap, period, and like for any purpose.
Yeah, well,
I
fell for that fucking Squatch soap scam.
Yeah.
That shit was good, like, the first week that it was available, and then they did what every business does, and they dropped the quality of their product once they had people on the hook.
Yeah. That's how that always works.
Yeah. Merca.
So enter Angel, who gets the last bit of the loofah conversation. They let the loofah thing drop, but he's super, super excited.
Wesley covers up for Cordy.
Yeah.
Badly, but nevertheless.
Well enough because Angel doesn't care.
He's distracted anyway.
He's really excited about ballet.
About the ballet. He just got tickets to something, perhaps a show.
Yes.
Stay tuned to find out. Cut to the courtyard, where Gunn playfully flirts with Fred over how much she ate as they come back from lunch or something.
Yeah.
He comments that he wonders where she puts it all with that stick figure she has. She playfully punches his arm and calls him a beast, and he follows up with, "Shut up, baby, you know you're gorgeous." And Fred seems not offended, but put off, surprised.
No, because his exact line is, "Come on, you know you're gorgeous."
Come on, you know you're gorgeous.
And the whole tone of it, like, so this is something I have learned from my current relationship. Mm-hmm. These offhanded, like, true, like, just, it's a deep, true compliment. But it's done in an offhanded, like, oh yeah, you're just throwing it out there. It's fucking gold, man. It is gold. And the look on Fred's face is exactly that. Like, you think that, and you think it's a casual thing to think,
right?
Like, no, that's exactly what Fred's response is like, right. Ooh, holy shit.
Yeah, and I got that. And they do that a couple of times this episode, also with Angel and Cordelia. I do wonder if it is a bit, not necessarily taboo, but not a great idea to say that she has a stick figure. Like, that could make her a bit self-conscious.
Yeah, there's a couple of moments here where it shows, well, mostly it shows that Gunn is not smooth, first off. Like, he is really not that smooth.
Yeah. To be fair, neither's Fred.
Right. And so, like, it works. But he's also just, like, he's not a refined sort of guy.
Yeah.
And so he doesn't, They do a great job of, he doesn't play it that way.
Ain't need no manners.
And there's a few moments here and there where he says something, and then, like, if you take it the wrong way, it could be really bad. But
yeah,
there's a certain level that you can tell, well, he means well. He just,
yeah,
those are the words he's using.
Tone and intention are factors.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely. And definitely with today's beauty standards, being called skinny is a compliment.
Yeah.
I mean, you can make it an insult.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let's be honest. You can make anything.
You can make anything an insult if you try hard enough. Absolutely. But anyway, so that's the skinny. Ha! Pun intended. Inside the Hyperion, I almost said the Pylea. Inside the Hyperion, Gunn is excited about some tickets that Angel was supposed to buy for Matahari, but Angel was a dick and instead bought tickets to the Blinikoff World Ballet Corps.
He said something about those tickets were, like, sold out or something like that.
I didn't catch that.
But either way, he didn't get tickets to the band that Gunn wanted to see. I'd never even fucking heard of this band. Like,
Matahari?
Yeah.
Yeah, me either. Maybe it was a thing back then. Maybe it's just made up. Seems like if it was a thing back then, we would have heard of it.
There was a real band with that name, but there's another word in front of it. I don't remember. Harry Matahari. HARIMATAHARI. It is a Bosnian pop band.
All right, sure. Let's go with that.
I haven't listened to any of their music. Might check it out, though. Who knows?
Well, Gunn goes on this thing about losing all trust in Angel forever, so I don't understand. Like, if he had explained that it was sold out, it seems like Gunn would have been like, oh, well, shit.
Yeah, maybe. I think it's more that, like, Gunn hates the idea of the ballet.
Sure.
And, like, I think he's just more offended, like, you spent my money on ballet tickets?
Yeah.
I think that's his biggest problem.
Yeah, I just don't remember him saying anything about them being sold out.
And who knows? I might be wrong.
Yeah, the words sold out are not in the transcript, so.
Angel is excited about the ballet because the last time he saw this particular company was in 1890, and he cried, and he was evil when he did it. That's how fucking good it is.
Evil! And they were doing Giselle, which is their signature piece.
Yes.
Angel takes Gunn's hip jive and throws it right back in his face. He's like, come on, man, these guys are tight and you're going to be tripping out. But Gunn has lost all trust in Angel forever, as he should. You don't spend a man's money on tickets he didn't ask for.
And don't use my lingo against me.
Yes, exactly. But Courtney's excited to get dressed up for it. She's all in.
Yes.
Cut to
the theater. There's a short clip.
Oh, yeah. Okay, I was like, well, no way I cut over all of that. All right.
Just wrote ominous backstage scene.
Yeah, while some annoying weirdo brown noser makes wildly loud slurping noises in the direction of the director of the ballet, this weird-ass pretentious-looking director dude proves to us just how evil show business can be with some campy classic villain foreshadowing.
Yeah.
It will be the performance of a lifetime. It's almost exactly how he delivers this line.
Yeah.
And then we hear some creepy cackling in the background, and we see some weird white hands holding the catwalk railing. Foreshadowing.
Yes.
Okay.
Dun, dun, dun.
Cut to the clothing store after the opening sequence.
Yeah, Cordy and Fred are doing some shopping for dresses. They're talking about basically the plan of like how to get the dresses. Cordy's explaining the whole process of, no, you buy an expensive dress you can't afford, you wear it one time, and then you return it. The trick is hiding the tag.
I liked the way she phrased that. She
Yeah.
said, there's a custom amongst my people. It's
Yeah.
called returning it the day after using it.
Yes.
But when she says amongst my people, she used to be rich. So obviously that's not what rich people do. They would just donate it or stick it in the back of their closet. So
I think she just means white women in L.A.
Okay. Yep. Who don't have infinite disposable
Or
income.
no, wannabe actors in L.A.
There you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because like...
That's more specific than just poor people. Okay.
Yeah.
I prefer that, definitely.
Because if you think about it, of all the people who would probably need to do that most often, it's a actor trying to fucking get their first gig. Like they'd need to go to fancy parties, but they can't afford fancy clothes.
Right, yeah, I was going to say going to a place where you can hobnob with
Yeah.
the elites.
Exactly.
But needing to look the part. Yeah, that makes sense. I also enjoyed Cordy's wisecrack about getting, we could have gone to Cave Girl's House of Burlap, but that's so last season. I'm like, wow. I'm sure that's not a sensitive topic for Fred at all.
What's funny is that it was in fact last season.
Yeah.
Of the show.
Yeah. But it's like, you bastards. That was a good pun, though.
No, it was a good pun, good pull.
They were on top of their game a couple of times this episode, that's for sure.
No, I agree.
There's an on top of joke in there somewhere.
Yeah. Fred talks about her excitement about seeing the ballet. I guess
They're on top of more than that this episode. Hell!
There you go.
Found it.
Fred talks about her excitement about going to the ballet. I guess her family went to the ballet a lot when she was a kid to go see the Nutcracker. And she just blurts out that her first sexual dream was of the Mouse King.
Oh, yeah.
I've never seen the Nutcracker, so I don't know exactly what she's referring to.
She's definitely a furry, and she wants to fuck the Mouse King. The Nutcracker is just one big fever dream. Imagine
is it?
Fantasia, but with a Nutcracker theme.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
And so...
Is it good?
You know, I mean, the dancers were always very competent when I watched it. I don't understand the story because I've never watched it with any kind of captions.
Right.
But there's something about a king and a mouse king and some people dancing around. It's probably good. It's probably good in the same way that A Christmas Carol is. It's not, but it's got some sappy nostalgia shit that people latched onto.
You know, I think that's what fucking A Christmas Story is it? That fucking Christmas movie, You'll Shoot Your Eye Out.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, A Christmas Story.
Yeah.
And then, not to be confused with the one we were just talking about.
A Christmas Carol.
A Christmas Carol. A Christmas
Yeah.
Story, A Christmas Carol. Wow. It's not December, so it's not on the tips of our brains.
Right, exactly.
So, get over it.
Anyway, their conversation turns to boys.
You know, I enjoyed A Christmas Story one and a half times.
I doubt I ever enjoyed it.
And then
but I
they
sure as hell
and
fucking hate that movie because of all
yeah.
It is such a bad movie, and then they made us watch it constantly in school.
At least once a year, if not like 4 times in a day.
Yeah, I remember once it was played 3 times in one day.
Yeah.
Because 3 different classes fucking watched it. It was fucking awful. Oh, I hate that movie so fucking much. And I actually like slice of life films.
Right.
But that one is just so fucking awful. Sorry, I do not want to get on a tangent about that fucking movie.
I had the same problem with Shrek when the original one came out. Literally
just shoved down your throat left and right.
every time we had a substitute teacher, they were like, "We're going to watch Shrek." I'm like, "Fuck you." I'm so sick of that movie. I was the first person to say that, and everybody was like, "No, you can't do that." Did, here we are.
Yeah.
Where are we at?
Anyway, Fred and Cordy's conversation turns to be about boys. Fred asks Cordy about Gunn, but Cordy thinks that she's talking about Wesley, and so Cordy is like, "Oh, you need to go hit that." And yeah, there's some miscommunication here.
Yeah, because Fred wants to ask Cordy, and Cordy thinks she knows exactly what Fred's going to ask, and Fred assumes that Cordy does know exactly what she was going to ask. So, problem is she doesn't know who she's asking about. Cordelia is assuming Wesley, Fred is talking about Gunn, and so the formulaic sitcom antics and sheer lack of communication skills begin. But it does not really much comes of that.
No.
Other than later Fred hooks up with Gunn and not Wesley.
Yeah.
But, of course, Cordy thinks it's
Right.
Wesley because she was just talking to Wesley.
But there
Couldn't be 2 guys into the same girl.
Right. The other important part is that the advice that Cordy gives to Fred about Wesley is still perfectly accurate for Gunn.
Right? Yeah, it's not wrong.
No.
I mean, I don't know about them being perfect. They're not any worse for each other than her and Wesley.
Exactly.
It's tomatoes to potatoes at this point.
Anyway.
They sound similar, but they're 2 very different things.
Right. Anyway, from there, Fred starts to talk about Cordy and Angel, but Cordy just, shrugs it off.
I just want to say it has nothing to do with one being brown and the other being red. Nothing intended by that whatsoever.
My brain didn't even go there till you told it to.
Yeah. Sorry, not sorry. Okay. Didn't mean to interrupt. What were you saying?
Anyway, we go back to the hotel.
I don't want to share my feelings. I don't want to open up. I want to find the guy that killed Tina, and I want to look him in the eye. Then what? Then I'm going to share my feelings.
Anyway, we go back to the hotel where Lauren is helping Angel clean off his tux because Connor spit up all over it. And he expresses to Angel, "Hey, you sang that Irish lullaby to Connor, and let's have a nice little conversation about you and Cordelia." And of course, Angel gets defensive because that's what Angel does.
Yeah. That seems to be a big writing tactic that they use sometimes. People getting offended by little things.
Well, they use it with Angel a lot. He gets defensive constantly.
Mm-hmm.
That is his biggest knee-jerk reaction to everything is he gets defensive. It's a little annoying.
Anyway, what was he getting defensive about here?
Because Lauren is trying to call him out about his feelings for Cordy. And he, of course, doesn't want to face that he has feelings for
because
Cordy.
and instead of being like, yeah, I'm totally into her.
Yeah.
And being honest with himself. Because that's the tactic they always use is
Right.
instead of being honest with other people, how about you don't be honest with other people? And then you have conflict.
Yeah.
What if he did that with himself? It's
Exactly.
kind of like Pixar. Hey, what if feelings had feelings?
What if cars had feelings? What if toys had feelings? What if feelings had feelings?
Yeah, I don't know if there's actually any correlation there, but for some reason my brain made the connection. So
Yeah. No, that's great.
here we are.
And then Lauren continues on talking about corruption, which Fred had brought up
A couple episodes
back. And, more importantly, corruption is about fate. And the way he explains it is kind of along the lines of corruption only exists when it's fated to be.
Ironically, corruption also sounds like another type of pastry.
It does.
Which he keeps calling Angel
Right,
different
yeah.
types of pastries. And eventually Angel has to be like, stop calling me pastries.
Yeah, one of my quotes of the day is the end of this conversation is Angel snaps back at Lauren. Stop saying, because he hates the word corruption at this point. He's like, stop saying that and stop calling me pastries.
Including but not limited to crumb cake, you big corn muffin, strudel, cinnamon bun. Anyway, Lauren knows Angel's super into Cordy and insists he needs to inform her of his tingly man bits because you only get one chance and stars and fate and corruption, etc. Angel's highly resistant to all this love nonsense. Obviously.
I have a question for you. A legitimate question. Does Lauren know what happens if Angel gets a moment of happiness?
That's an excellent question, and I don't think there's any way that he doesn't know that.
Right.
I was just going to say, obviously, he'd be playing with fire to fall in love again. Lauren's argument doesn't really hold much water here. He's
Exactly.
like, but Angel, you have a heart, and you're a man. That's right. He's a man who'll murder your family for funsies if you continue to curate true happiness for him. Because he's a classy motherfucker like that. But also, Lauren mentions, if he thought she liked to wear green, he'd be elbowing Angel out of the way, which is not only a super cool way to phrase that sentiment, but also it seems Lauren isn't quite as gay as they make him out to be.
I don't think he is at all.
He's definitely bi. He's got to be bi.
Yeah.
The way he's like, oh, honey, the way these clothes lay on you, he would hit that.
Right.
And the way he's like, nobody's that gay, he would totally hit Cordelia up, too.
Yeah.
Because nobody's that gay. Come on.
But no, and that's what my thought was, is there's no way Lauren doesn't know enough of Angel's history.
Absolutely no way. He's the clairvoyant one.
What in the fuck are you talking about, Lauren? You are giving him very bad advice. You are giving him dangerous, here's the nuclear fucking codes advice.
Right? This whole episode, it seems like the only one who's bearing in mind that Angel turns into a murderous psychopath when he has a moment of true happiness is Angel.
Yeah.
He's like, by the way, have you forgotten?
Well, Cordy too, I think. I think the entire reason that Cordy seems completely oblivious to Angel's desire for her.
She's faking it because it's because she's assuming that couldn't possibly ever happen because Exhibit A.
And what's the thing to do in that sort of circumstance? You fucking leave it be.
Run.
You don't look at it. You don't bring attention to it. Both people, sure, they both know they have feelings for each other because, let's be honest, there's no way in hell Cordy and Angel don't realize the other person is into them.
Mm-hmm.
But I think she's purposely ignoring it because she's doing it out of kindness because she knows that he can't.
Mm-hmm. Partially. Certainly. That's definitely a factor. I'm on board with that anyway.
But yeah, this whole fucking bit, the whole time I'm watching, I'm like, Lorne, what the fuck are you talking about? I wanted to just reach into the screen and bop him upside his head.
Yeah. But then, so as they're talking about Cordelia, she overhears them talking about her, and Lauren joins Angel in the great Googly Moogly festival that ensues, because she's wearing a, frankly, in my opinion, quite plain black formal dress. But I think the selling point here for everyone is that you can see, like, her entire torso minus her nipples.
It's not that bad.
It's not, like, it's a good dress. It just shows a lot of skin. So I guess by definition, that makes it not a good dress. Because it's not really dressing her.
It doesn't show that. It shows her shoulders, her cleavage, and her upper back.
Don't get me wrong. I'm not mad about it. I also don't need the writers to grab the heads of the two men in the room, point them at her, to, by remote, tell me that I should be doing the fucking wolf reaction from The Mask right now.
Exactly.
Awooga! It's like, I know how to masturbate. It's okay. Yes, I find that attractive. Great.
Well, and that's the thing. It's like, it's a nice dress. It's not a fucking amazing dress.
Yeah.
Like, it's a nice dress. But the point is that Cordy looks amazing in a nice dress.
Yeah.
Like, she looks amazing.
The dress, like, she's doing the dress a favor.
Exactly.
At this point. The dress should be thanking her.
Yeah.
Because the dress isn't that great, but she wears it extraordinarily well.
She does.
So that's neat. Angel covers nicely that they weren't talking about love and boinking, but rather that she isn't much of a ballet fan or something. Well, she grabs him right by the bow tie and makes him sweat a little while rattling off some fancy words about pretending to be sophisticates on the town and not be their dreary selves for one evening. No. Like that'll happen.
Right. You don't get to have nice things.
Let alone nice times.
Yeah.
That's even worse.
If you have tickets to the ballet, you should just assume something's wrong with it the moment you got the fucking tickets.
What's that about happiness? Get back in your hole.
Yeah.
Don't make me
no
get the
evil
hose.
angel here. No evil angel. You don't get happiness.
So, we're back in the lobby. Cut to Fred and Gunn having a similar moment. Gunn is all embarrassed to be in a tuxedo and makes Fred promise not to laugh. She fails horribly at keeping her promise, but narrowly avoids murder by calling him pretty. I mean, he looks, in my opinion, middlingly normal.
I mean,
he looks like a kid dressed up for the prom.
He looks like anybody in a tux.
Like somebody who went and rented a tux. Yeah.
It's a tux.
It seems like it's
hard to look bad in a tux.
Yeah.
But everyone kind of like looks the same in a tux.
It seemed like it wasn't fit well enough.
No.
It seemed a little baggy on him.
Yeah, it was not the kind of tux where you're like, oh, that was well tailored to him.
Yeah, it didn't, and it's not like he's got a bad figure.
No.
He's a very tight fit man.
Yeah.
They could have made him look like fucking James Bond.
Exactly.
In a
and
tux.
I would have liked
but they didn't. That. It's fucking swishy.
Right.
It's practically swishy. It's not
and then
fucking
in
swishy.
Contrast, West looks fucking perfectly natural in his tux.
Dapper as ever.
Yeah. Like it's like, oh, there's an Englishman in a tux. That's just right.
He just kind of looks formal all the time, really.
He wears his tux perfectly.
Mm-hmm.
But anyway, it's a nice little moment here between Gunn and Fred, though.
Yeah, in juxtaposition to Gunn's clothes, Fred over here appears to be in the process of being eaten by a like from The Legend of Zelda.
I really liked her dress.
Which looks great on her. At least this dress has some color to it.
Yeah, and it was a little sparkly.
And sparkly. I'm a raccoon, though, so...
I'm also a sucker for off-the-shoulder dresses like that.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
It's always weird. I'm not mad about them. I don't hate them. They've always just been a little weird to me. It's like, how does that... Do you have to glue it?
No.
How does it stay up? Is it just... Are you just hoping that the boobs hold up the whole dress?
That's part of it. Yeah, that's part of it.
Okay.
There's certain aspects of the figure that it holds up just fine.
Alrighty.
But sometimes there's tape involved.
But anyway, yeah, I'm a raccoon, so I like shiny things regardless. You know who else likes shiny things? Wesley.
Yeah.
That soy boy beta cuck swoops in and drapes his lady property in a nice shawl to indicate to his competition that this is his territory. Let the games begin!
To be fair, he also places a shawl on Cordy.
Yeah.
He's just got shawls for all of them.
I chose to ignore that.
Cordy and Angel come down the steps. They greet everyone. Everyone's like, oh, look, we're all hot. Because, you know, they're all TV stars.
Look how
They're
hot we all are. Yeah, you're all 20-somethings or early 30s.
Yeah. Living in LA.
Living in LA.
Yeah.
Working.
You
Unlike,
probably all hit the gym.
unlike
once a week.
99.9%. Did you say once a week?
I was going for, my brain was trying to say like multiple times a week and once a day at the same time.
At least once a day.
Yes.
Yeah. They've all got personal trainers.
Yeah.
Whether they hired them or the show hired them.
Exactly. And then there's a moment just as they're leaving where Cordy whispers to Wesley, the iron is hot, that it's time to make your move, Wes.
Yep, because she thinks she got Fred all primed for Wesley, but instead she got her all primed for Gunn.
Yeah.
Oopsie. So Cordy had a vision that she will get no visions tonight. Handy that.
How about that?
They all fuck off looking pretty to the ballet. Well, isn't that fucking nice?
A person needs certain designer things.
You shouldn't be trying to eat my friend's brains.
Hey, you're a vampire.
The ballet. Wes and Gunn get Fred trapped in a big old sandwich in the seating area. You know what? Maybe this is too modern thinking of me, but why not both? Why not?
Right.
Why did she have to choose?
Yeah.
You know, polyamory,
They're
baby.
gentlemen. They're gentlemen.
Yeah. Polyamory is a solution to a problem. All right?
Exactly.
And the cause of many others. It's a trade-off. It's a trade-off. Deal with it.
Right. Like, I mean, all relationships take work, and, you know, don't go into polyamory if you're thinking that's an easy solution.
Yeah. Yeah. Nobody's speaking from experience at this table. Oh, dear. We're freaky. Cordy and... Not with each other. It's fine. It's okay. Cordy and Angel sit behind them. Not that there's anything wrong with that.
They got some tickets that are way, way, way in the back.
Kind of works out.
Angel's like, you know, sorry they're so far back. I had to get 5 seats together, and you know, Wes kind of like smooths it over. He's like, oh yeah, but we have the whole panoramic view here. Mm-hmm. And you know what? I actually prefer the seats where they got them. The 2 concerts lately that Caitlin and I went to at the State Theater, which is a theater here in town, we sat roughly where these people sit in the theater, and it's excellent.
I saw Jeff Daniels there.
Yeah,
at roughly that distance. Just to give anybody who's interested a little bit of reference, if you like Ron White, his first big stand-up routine was filmed at our State Theater.
Yeah. That's
one of its little claims to fame. It's got a lot of them, though, I'm sure.
More than you'd expect.
Yeah.
Because it seems like a nothing theater, but apparently it isn't.
Small town, but no, they book some
It's also gorgeous.
They book some big shit there. It's gorgeous in the house.
Yes.
Backstage, from what I hear, they've got fucking nothing for technology.
I believe it.
But anyway, wow.
It's an old theater.
Yeah, it is. We're a little off topic.
Can you tell I haven't taken my Adderall?
Actually, we're not super off topic.
No.
They're in a theater. We're talking about theaters. We're currently in a theater.
Yes.
Everyone's in a theater.
My favorite bit when they're sitting down in their seats, Angel reminisces about how he used to always get box seats, and sometimes he'd get them by eating the people in them.
Mm-hmm. Cordy's like, yeah, how about we don't talk about that? And Cordy's cracking jokes about setting off under 70 alarms, and while Angel's joking about eating people in box seats, respectively. Then the ballet starts, and Cordy falls asleep immediately. Gunn is enthralled.
Like, she falls asleep like she was shot with a tranq gun.
Right? I'm like, did somebody drug her? Damn. Come on, Angel. She'd have been willing. Wow. Sorry.
That one might be a bit much.
Yeah, sorry. It's not like that. It's not like that.
Okay. I have a fun piece of trivia for this. The prima ballerina in this episode is played by Summer Glau.
Okay.
Which most people would know her from Firefly. She plays River Tam, the crazy one in Firefly.
Okay.
But very specifically, this episode is her very first acting credit.
Oh.
Because before this, she made her way in LA as a professional dancer.
Mm-hmm.
Her second acting credit is Firefly.
Go figure.
So this show and Firefly launched her career.
Neat.
Yeah.
She done a lot since then?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Oh, good for her. Yeah, and as, Gunn is super enthralled, and then last we see is a close-up on Angel's face, who is visibly disturbed. We find out why in a moment. Because we cut to intermission, where Cordelia may have drooled on Angel's jacket as she snorts awake, but it's okay, it matches Connor's puke on the back of the jacket. Gunn eats his words from earlier and declares...
Quote of the day, he says, "I'll say it once and you can gloat all you want. These guys are tight and I am tripping out." Yep.
Nice callback.
Yeah.
To earlier in the episode.
I really appreciate that he is the most enamored with the show over everyone else there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, all the excitement that Angel had at the very beginning of the episode, like, hey, we're going to go to the ballet. All of that excitement transferred into Gunn, and I love that.
Yeah, I thought it was an interesting choice. I liked the choice that they made there. I'm not sure if I cared for the execution. It felt a little forced.
A little. I think
I appreciate that they're trying to flesh out the softer side of his character.
Right.
But it just didn't track for me that... he would sit there googly-eyed over ballet dancing, but who am I to judge?
I think if there had been more time to do it, it would have worked better. I think because because
it sounded like he had seen ballet before.
Right.
He would know if he liked it or not, but maybe he just had this idea of what ballet is, but he didn't realize... Like he mentions the athleticism, and that's absolutely true. You have to be fucking fit as a fiddle and do ridiculous things in an extremely dainty way that are actually extremely difficult to do, and that's ballet. It all just kind of looks the same to me, though.
See, I haven't seen a lot of ballet, but what I have seen was really fucking good.
Yeah, and I can tell that it's good. It doesn't trip the happy chemicals for me. I'm just like, they're the dancing, they're good for them.
And there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. Or is there? And that's the problem.
The only time that there is anything wrong with it is Gunn's attitude in the beginning of the episode was that like macho, I can't like ballet sort of fucking attitude.
Men with their big packages jumping around.
Yeah.
Like okay, whatever.
The macho homophobia, you can't be into LA you can't be into ballet because it's you're a man. That whole attitude.
Yeah.
Like that's the way Gunn was painted at the very beginning of the episode.
And regardless of the execution, I'm going to give them a pass on that because they're trying to turn that stereotype on its head. So good for them. Good. A for effort. Wesley then asks Angel if if the ballet has changed much since he saw it. And, key plot point, nope.
Not at all.
Not a damn bit. And in fact, it's all of the exact same dancers. And Cordelia wants snacks.
It's the same music, same dancers, same everything.
Mm-hmm. Identical. Gosh.
We also learn later that it is the exact same performance.
My first impression was, gosh, we can't think of any type of being that could be immortal and unaging.
Right.
How is this possible? And so commercial break, and okay, that's the first thing they suggest.
Yeah,
but
they're like, oh, are they vampires?
Angel drops a big old steamer right into that bowl of Cheerios and claims that he's able to sense their vampirosity or lack thereof.
My favorite part, though, is that he says, no, I'd be able to sense that. And Wes's immediate response is, from all the way back there? I mean, they're the panoramic view.
With the panoramic view? Yeah, good cover. Like, actually good cover on that one.
And so basically the team breaks up. Angel just says that they're going to go back to their seats to watch the show. He's going to go backstage to Snoop. Cordy's like, you know what? I'm going to go with you to Snoop too. And then as they're parting ways, Wes gets a lovely little jab in. Says to Cordy, how will the dancers keep time without your rhythmic snoring?
Cordy is at first like, how dare you? Okay, that was actually really good. If anybody appreciates a good zinger,
right,
it's Cordelia.
But also, like, she knows she fell asleep.
Yeah.
She can own it.
Uh-huh. She still threatens him. She's
yes.
morally and socially obligated to.
Yes.
But she's it's fine.
I like that they've kind of given them a sibling-esque banter back and forth.
A bit. Yeah. You know, it makes sense considering the one time that they kissed
was super fucking
they
awkward.
Both
and
decided, wow, that was like kissing my brother.
Yeah.
Or my sister, you know.
Yeah.
Anyway, so we cut to a stairwell where Angel and Cordelia must get past a security guard. One inept, overweight guard.
Yes.
After some debate involving Angel unintentionally giving her an extremely high compliment that they compromise, and Cordy tries to bribe the security guard.
I fucking love this.
And when he's a prick about it, Angel punches the guy out.
No, I like it because they're debating this plan and everything of like what to do and how to go about it. And Cordy's like, you know what? I have a more subtle plan. And then it cuts to commercial. And then when it comes back, they're up at the bouncer dude. And she's just like, hey, do you like bribes? And he's like, do I?
Boy, howdy.
And then she hands him a 20. And he's like, you know, this is really more of a tip, not so much a bribe. So,
yeah.
You know.
I could have sworn maybe it was a $100 bill, but regardless.
I rewatched it. I was like, what? Like, how much money was that? Now, granted, $20 in 2002 was more than $20 today.
More than now. Probably more similar to being given a 50. But you're in LA.
Yeah.
And, you know, if he's being paid well.
Right.
And I would hope that he is. I would assume
he should especially be being paid well because he's literally the only person on security detail, apparently.
He better be hyper competent. Oh, wait, he goes down from one punch to the face. Yeah. Granted, you know.
It's a vampire's punch.
It is a vampire punch. So they can't really prepare you for that.
I just love it. Do you like bribes? Yes.
Do I?
Do I?
I think he literally said, oh, do I? Anyway, no, I was watching it on Hulu, so, and every time you pause, it puts that fucking black border around the screen.
Hate that.
You can't see everything that's on the fucking screen, so I couldn't make out what bill it was.
Yeah.
Anyway, back in the audience, the ballet continues. We see Wesley, Fred, and Gunn in the audience watching briefly. The dancer continues on stage while the creepy director dude leers creepily.
Yes.
Cut back to the dressing room.
You jumped ahead.
The dressing room. I did?
Yes.
What's first?
You missed the part where they actually went backstage and found the endless hallway.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
And after they see the endless hallway, they turn around to leave, and then there's an endless hallway on both sides now. And there's obviously some sort of spell in the works.
Not really an option anymore. Kind of stuck in the endless hallway now. It's a little bit like the beginning of Labyrinth.
Yeah.
A little bit, but not really.
And then they wander around for a little while, eventually finding themselves in the prima donna's dressing room.
I was hoping for some demon fighting tonight, but I wound up with a delivery job instead. If I come back here on the end of a spatula, I'm expecting some serious workman's comp. I'm just messing with y'all.
Yes.
I have another question here. One of the very first things that Angel says when they walk into this room is, it's unchanged.
Yeah.
And I want to know how he knows.
How would you know that? But also, so yeah, that's implying that he's seen her dressing room before. Why? But Cordy also sits down and immediately says she would wait for him here while inspecting a necklace with a cross on it. And then Angel's like, it's warm in here, which is weird because it's ghosts. Seems like it would be cold, but whatever. They're not angry spirits.
Right.
I mean, they kind of are.
They're heavy breathing spirits.
And they're scared.
There's a lot of heavy breathing in this room.
They're also heavy breathing.
The spirits have been heavy breathing in this room for a very long time. So it's warm in there.
So I would like to attribute Angel's first opening sentence when he walks into the room of it's unchanged to the same thing as like it's the start of them being possessed.
Right.
Because Cordelia obviously has zero frame of reference for this is where she would wait for him.
Right. And like I get that, it just really threw me.
Yeah.
I think if it weren't for the fact that like he had seen this play before.
Yeah, it's different for him because it's possible he could have been there.
Exactly. It adds a touch of confusion to the moment, and I think if they had a different line there, it would have been better.
Yeah, and they never like bring that back around and tell us about it, so it's just bad writing.
Yeah.
Anyway, so it's warm in the room. Cordy stands up and requests politely that Angel undress her, and she's clearly possessed now.
Yeah.
Angel fights it, but when Cordy breaks the act and second guesses asking him to undress her,
they have a moment where it looks like the spell has been broken and they've snapped out of it. But it's only a moment.
Yeah, well, because Angel takes hold and escalates a bit in more ways than one.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm only alive while you're inside me. And I mean, I could say the same thing to a hamburger. But this is fucking steamy.
No, it
But I could also say that to a hamburger.
It was actually...
This is fucking steamy.
I gotta give some impressive credit here because I think the on-screen chemistry between these two is 10 times better than David Boreanaz and Buffy. Yeah.
Also, it feels like there's this little hint of taboo, or it kind of like it's almost like Cordelia's betraying Buffy's friendship if she were to hook up with Angel,
a little
because
bit maybe
that, but also it's not like she keeps in touch with Buffy,
right? Yeah,
they haven't talked for 3 years at this point.
Yeah, and like I don't know, just something about this,
and also they weren't exactly friends,
right?
They were pretty hardcore enemies,
yeah,
at first.
But something about the way. Maybe it's just the way this scene's put together, but it's rather intense.
It is, yeah.
Damn.
Maybe it's just because it was one step away from softcore porn, but
they got close.
Yeah, these two, they made me feel something, man. They had chemistry.
Oh yeah,
the kind of chemistry that makes a baby, but also the other kind of normal chemistry, where they just like each other.
But yeah, they do a lot of kissing. A
little bit. Yeah.
Some heavy petting.
And cut back to the dancers dancing briefly, and then Angel and Cordy make out passionately for a moment, then break dramatically. He apologizes. I don't think she's too mad about it.
No, they don't.
They say they need to get out, but they can't keep their hands off each other. Cordy's like, open the damn door. Angel's like, it's kind of hard. Cordy says, I noticed. Or kind of noticed. So they finally step outside the door.
This was the moment that I had to pause it and just sit and laugh for a good bit, because I'm like, that is one hell of a dick joke.
It is. They finally step outside the door. Angel presumes it's some sort of spirits trapped in time. And I got another quote of the day here. Cordy says, yee, scary. Well, it's a good thing it wears off right away. Angel takes his jacket off immediately and folds it up and holds it in front of his crotch and says, yeah, good thing.
Yeah.
I think We've all been there. Not since, like, high school, but
Yeah.
having to cover up your raging hard-on with the fucking math textbook or something.
The number of dick jokes in this episode is impressive.
Mm-hmm.
So this, by the way, is the second time that Angel has been possessed by dead lovers.
Yeah.
And I just want to, if he had a nickel for every time, it would only be 2. But that's still a lot.
That's still 10 cents. You can buy a gumball with that.
It's
maybe.
weird that it happened more than once.
I suppose. I mean, when you're alive for 250 years.
Yeah. But I mean, this happened in the last, like, 5 years.
When was the other time that happened? Was that on Buffy?
Yeah, it was on Buffy.
I vaguely recall.
It was the season that Miss Calendar was in it. Yeah. So season 2?
I think it was the episode where he did such a good job with the role that was where Joss Whedon decided this man can carry a show.
Right. Yeah, I think it might be. I know, if I recall correctly, I think he was evil during that episode.
Possibly. Yeah. Anyway, so cut back to Connor and Lauren at the Hyperion. Lauren sings to Connor and makes up lyrics about resenting not being asked to go to the ballet. And
I love this trope. the singing a sweet song to a baby, but then the topic of the song is actually, like, you know, complaining about something else.
This is the first time that I'm not mad about their execution of that trope.
Right.
Yeah. And Lauren here is most certainly not thinking of selling Connor to the first vampire cult to make him a decent offer.
Yeah, definitely not.
Definitely not.
Never crossed his mind.
Not once. Certainly not in the form of a lullaby.
And then there's a noise outside.
And we see a point of view shot,
Yes.
zoom through the hallway, cut back to Lauren reading a newspaper. We hear a creaking noise. Lauren goes to check it out with an axe.
As you do.
And he only gets to the door and stops with a shocked look on his face and says, "Oh my God."
Cutaway.
Cutaway. Mystery. But we find out at the end of the episode, spoiler alert, it's fine.
Yeah, it's fine. Not for Angel. Backstage, Angel and Cordy wander around. Then they start discussing what was said in the dressing room, and they start kind of piecing together the story of that the prima ballerina was in love with someone. There was a third person involved who was not happy about it. And Cordy decides that, hey, maybe we should go back to the dressing room to find out the rest of the story.
Yeah, they're trying to remember the things that they said while they were possessed. They remember they were afraid of being found, and whoever they're afraid of must be why they can't leave. So they have to go back. Angel is hesitant. Cordy gets offended when he tries to explain that he has a problem kissing her because, of course, he means because he likes it too much, but she's too impatient to wait for a fucking explanation.
He also expresses something very important to be said here is, what if there isn't any more dialogue in that scene?
Right?
Like, you don't know. Maybe that was the end of the talky bits. Maybe the talky bits don't happen till after the touchy-feely bits.
And she specifically says, hey, you know, as long as nothing comes off and nothing gets inserted, it's all good. And I'm like, what makes you think that it's going to go down that way?
Right? Like,
I'm fairly certain it was leading up to exactly both of those things. And
exactly.
It gets pretty fucking close. If they didn't get fucking interrupted,
right?
Which we're about to get to.
Yeah.
So cut back to the ballet and the audience. The ballet continues. Wes and Gunn nearly grope Fred at the same exact
I fucking
time.
hate this moment.
Yeah, it's a little cringy. And I'm like, keep your grubby hands off her, you fucking pervs. She's a goddamn symbol of purity and innocence. If anyone should destroy that, it should be me. I mean,
more importantly, you don't fucking put your hands on somebody without consent. Neither of you fuckers have asked her out. Neither of you have made a move of speaking your actual feelings for this woman. Maybe don't grope her leg.
It's weird to make that move while you're there with a group.
Yes.
That is absolutely true. Yeah. I mean, there are moments where I think it's okay to take a chance and not spoil the moment by saying, hey, can I put my hand on your leg?
Right.
Because that's weird. That's also weird.
It's the time that which you are allowed to do that without getting prior consent is if you have at least had one prior conversation about your feelings and you know that there's some reciprocation. You don't just fucking spring, I'm going to grope your leg out of fucking nowhere.
Yeah. Also, if this is your moment of trying to figure out or tell them in a physical way that you're into them, go for the hand.
Right?
Try to hold their hand.
Yeah.
Or put your arm around their shoulder. That's also probably not the best way to start that. Yeah. Still, yeah. Maybe start with consent. That's definitely, you can't get in trouble with that one.
Just at the very least be like, hey, I'm into you. Because at this point, as far as they know, she still thinks that they're just all friends.
Right. Yeah, one way or another, this is absolutely not the time or place. You're like, fucking Wesley's right there, Gunn's right there. Both of you should know better. Yeah. This is not okay. But anyway, you missed my joke.
I apologize.
If anyone should destroy that, it should be me.
I didn't miss that. I just didn't know what to do with it.
I was counting on you slapping me down because I was trying to be inappropriate. And now it's just left hanging in the ether with people going, what the fuck? What does he mean it should be him?
I mean, that's normal too.
Need to come back and address that. I intended for that to go differently. And here we are. So anyway.
I don't think so, Josh. There you go.
Sorry, Tim. Wait, you're Al.
I'm Al.
You're Al to my Tim. Oh, yes.
God. Well, if you're going to say inappropriate shit like that, what do you expect?
Well, just call me Tim Allen. He's just an asshole. Was he sexually inappropriate to anyone?
I don't remember. I know he had a lot of raunchy jokes.
That would
when
help
he did
me hate
stand-up.
him more. I mean, that's fine. I mean, I'm still mad that fucking Eddie Murphy thought he had to apologize for his 80s stand-up. It was the 80s.
Right.
Homophobia was rampant.
He was also a raunchy comic. Like that.
Yeah.
That's the genre of comedian he was.
Yeah. He shouldn't have to retroactively...
Yeah.
He shouldn't have to retroactively apologize for that. People were laughing. It was funny.
Right.
For its time. Yeah, it's not acceptable
now. You'd have to apologize if you're like, in 2020 being like, hey, I'm going to revamp my old stand-up.
Yeah.
Let's see how that goes.
Yeah, it's not funny now. It wouldn't go over well now. But he's not trying to do it now.
Yeah.
So I thought that was stupid. Whatever.
Anyway,
there's a lot of problematic aging comics right now, things going around. We could talk about it that for an entire episode.
Anyway, the groping becomes a near miss groping as Fred stops them both by exclaiming, Angel and Cordy have been gone too long.
Yes, because Fred, the beacon of perfection that she is too concerned about Angel and Cordy and decides they've been gone for too long, so they'd better go looking for them.
Yes.
And they're all like, oh, all right, let's do that.
Wes agrees, and Gunn hesitantly agrees, but he's obviously sad he's going to miss the ending of the performance.
Yeah, which is a legitimate concern.
Yeah.
He's really enjoying it. I wish he could have seen the end of the performance. But, yeah, such is the life of a demon hunter.
So, there's still a place in this world for traditional research.
Even a solitary soldier such as myself recognizes that a free exchange of intelligence benefits the common struggle. Oh, also, I brought in your mail and newspaper.
So back to the dressing room. Cordy and Angel get to the dressing room, and the magic doesn't seem to be working anymore. So they kind of just start going through the motions of reciting the lines that they already knew, that already experienced.
Until the spirits take hold again.
Well, the moment they take hold again is the moment that they catch up to where they left off.
Right.
And then the spirits immediately take hold.
Yeah, doesn't take much. Back in the hallway, real quick, we see Wes, Fred, and Gunn find the security guard knocked out, who at this point is almost certainly just dead.
Yeah.
Because he's been knocked out for, an hour?
Right.
Or at least a half an hour. Well over the 5 minutes of definitely having brain damage.
Yes.
So if not dead, he's definitely a complete vegetable. They enter the.
He should have took the bribe.
Should have taken the bribe, bro.
That'll teach you not to take a bribe.
Oops. Or it actually won't teach him anything at all.
No. It will unteach him a lot.
It sure will. That's so callous. That poor bastard. He was just.
Well, that henchman is long dead now.
He was just
so
following
fine.
orders. I'm so sympathetic to that.
I don't even think he was just following orders. I think he was just a normal, dude for hire by the theater to make sure people don't go backstage.
He had to have known something.
No, I don't think he did.
He didn't. You don't just stand there in an unoccupied hallway and not look through the window that you're guarding.
I mean, maybe he did, but it didn't, because he didn't walk through the door, it didn't affect him.
Yeah, possibly.
Because
it could have just been a normal hallway until
exactly.
you walk through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because that's basically the way the scene when Angel and Cordy walk into the hall, they walk in and then they notice that something's odd.
Yeah. Yeah, okay. Very possibly. Seems likely. So they, the rest of them, Wesley, Fred, Gunn, they enter the infinite hallway now, and we hear again the creepy laughing from the beginning of the episode, and this is the first time that it's coming back. And we see some shadowy figures in the foreground, so they're back on the stairs, following them as they go down into the hallway. We
go back to the dressing room. And
so we cut back to the audience box real quick.
Oh, yeah. Sorry, I forgot that.
The director is telling a laughing a person who seems to be wearing a laughing
henchman.
mask.
I wrote henchman.
We hear them laughing and crying, but we don't see their faces yet at this point. One's laughing, one's crying, and he tells them to deal with them. He can't be bothered right now.
Yes.
And now we're back to the dressing room.
Back to the dressing room where the kissing is happening. At this point, Cordy has dropped the cross. Cordy, going through the lines of the ghost, tells Angel that she's being controlled by another man. She calls Angel Stefan. Mm-hmm. He wants to take her away, but she wants him to deal with the problem. And basically, it seems that her concern is that if she goes away with him, she won't get to dance. She wants to dance. In order to dance, she has to stay.
But she's also scared of Kurskov's unnatural power.
Yes.
And how he thinks he owns her. But he's a delusional fanboy who thinks that she's in love with him.
Yeah.
It's a whole big tangled mess of bullshit. And yeah, she really should have just left.
Yeah.
And that probably would have been the solution to this problem, but she wanted to dance. Yeah. Moment of note, Angel says, "Can he do this?" And they grind a bit because they're still in the throes of making out. And Cordy moans at this grinding. Yeah. And I totally thought that this was point insertion for a moment.
I did too.
I was like, damn! Oh, shit just got real. But apparently not. It was just some heavy grinding.
Yeah. It was a moment.
It was a moment, definitely. I got real excited.
We cut to backstage, outside the dressing room backstage, where Wesley, Gunn, and Fred are wandering around, and they hear moaning. Quote here, Wes says, "Someone's in pain," and Fred responds, "Either that or someone's in fun."
Hey-o. I also had that as a quote, yeah.
Because, it is not pain. You hear moaning.
Oh, my, no.
And it is definitely Angel and Cordy moaning.
Oh, yes. Their heads all turn in unison towards it, and we see a dark figure dart past behind them.
Yes.
Cut back to the room. The dressing room
where a naked happens.
Where they're about to get it on. And Angel's got her dress off and is kissing around the fun zone.
Yes.
With just below the belly button when he gets tackled by the laughing demon. And Cordelia is relieved as he grapples on the floor.
On. No, because there's another quote of the day here. Cordy exclaims, "Oh no," because she realizes what Angel is about to do to her. And then she looks over, sees the henchman who tackles Angel, and then when this happens, she sits up and looks at him and says, "Oh, thank God." Because the henchman stopped Angel from doing naughty things.
Mm-hmm. I don't remember the "oh no" moment. Was she saying "oh no" to Angel?
To Angel simultaneously as she saw the henchman too. because she sees the henchman. It snaps her out of it. She realizes what Angel is about to do.
It's one of those double entendre lines.
Yes.
Like, oh no, there's a henchman. Simultaneously, oh no, Angel's about to bang me.
Yeah.
But in actual, like, concerned about it, not like, oh no, kind of a welcoming it, but playfully.
A little of both, honestly. Like, it's ambiguous as to whether or not she's like, oh, you can't really tell if she's, oh no, Angel, don't lick my nethers, or oh no, there's a henchman stopping Angel from licking my nethers. You can't really tell. And I think that's why I like the line.
Yeah, it could go 3 ways. Giggity! And that's why they did it. So you know what? Good on the execution here, guys. Yeah. So Cordy is relieved as he grapples on the floor with the demon, and
she puts her dress back on.
Supposes that this must be what happened to the spirits. Mystery solved.
Yes.
So now we're back out in the hallway. Wesley, Fred, and Gunn, they hear struggle as Gunn notes that it sounds less like fun, and it's an actual struggle this time. And Gunn gets stabbed in the back or in the side from behind by the crying demon, and Fred screams in terror. She whacks the demon with a sword that she finds randomly laying around, and then picks it up, tosses it to Wesley.
No, that was the demon's sword.
Oh, okay.
She like grabbed like a vase or something, or a bag. I wasn't sure what it was. Maybe it was like a sandbag or something.
She's hitting him with a bag in a moment later.
Yeah. It was, so that bag that she was hitting him with later, she disarms him with that, and then throws the sword to Wesley.
Yeah, I was trying to figure out where she got the sword. Makes sense that it was his.
Yeah.
With order of operations, I'm still unclear on, but it's one way or another. She throws Wesley a sword, and now Wesley is armed. That's great.
And then there's this great moment where Wes is like fending off against the demon in front of him, and he's like, "Oh, I hope Fred is going to be okay." And he like looks over his shoulder, and she's just beating the other demon to fucking death.
And then turns back to the demon he's fighting, and it's like, well, I guess it's just you and me. So Wesley takes on the laughing demon while Fred beats down the crier with her bag repeatedly. Back to Angel and Cordelia. Angel holds the crier down. They've got their own set of demons that are identical, but it's different demons.
Right.
So Angel holds his crier down with a chokehold while Cordy dodges the laugher. And Angel gets stabbed in the chest by the crier, so he stabs him back with a sword. He pulls the dagger out of his chest and simultaneously whips it at the laugher.
He pulls the dagger out of his chest, and he stabs down with the sword in his left hand while he throws the knife with his right hand at the exact same time.
It's pretty smooth.
It's fucking badass.
And Cordelia decides that it's best if they go quickly due to the danger of navigating the Niagara Falls of her quivering vagina.
That's a good way to put it. No, the lines are, Cordy says, "We gotta move." Angel's like, "You think they're not dead?" And she just replies, "You just looked really hot doing that."
And he's like, "You're right, we should go."
Oh, run.
Run!
And this was the second moment I had to pause it and laugh for a good bit.
Yeah. And so we cut back to Wesley winning the fight, and he gets a zippy one-liner as he stabs the laughing demon. He says, "Who's laughing now?" And he's, "Well, you, but I still win."
I also want to point out that when he's fighting the demon, he has Fred's shawl, and he uses a fighting style that I love. That's rapier and cloak. It's where it's an old school fighting style where you wrap a cloak around your offhand and you use that as a weapon to deflect attacks. It's fantastic, and anytime I see it in stage combat in shows or movies or anything, I fucking love it because it's not used very often.
Neat. Back to Gunn and Fred. Gunn kids around about his wound, but Fred is super shaken. Gunn finally stops being a dick.
Right? He was getting real dickish there for a brief moment here.
He's like, "Come on, why are you so scared?" And she's like very distressed this whole time. And then finally he's like, hey, whoa, okay, I see that you're very distressed, finally.
Yes.
And then he hugs her, and
he brings it around. Because he says to her, if you're this upset about it, then the wound truly is that deep.
Yeah, he keeps quoting a show. I'm not sure what exactly he was quoting.
I don't know either.
I tried Googling it. I was assuming it must be Shakespeare. It sounded kind of like Romeo and Juliet. Something about one last kiss before I die.
Right.
And like that sounds like a Romeo line.
It does.
Just before they both...
But the point is,
poison themselves.
He brings it around, and they go in for a kiss. Very passionate kiss.
Oh yes.
And just in time for Wes to return and see them making out.
Yeah, and he's like, geez. And he drops to his knees dramatically, dropping his sword as we quickly cut back to the director with a smarmy, shitty look on his face while he watches the dancers.
Yes.
Which is just par for the course for him this episode. Angel and Cordelia find Fred and Gunn. They get all caught up on things, and when they get to the part about Kurskov being scary and having powers of some kind, enter Wesley with all the answers because he too found a hot spot.
Yes.
Not quite as hot as the one everyone else found.
Right.
But nevertheless, someone has to do the heavy lifting.
It was hot. It just wasn't hot and heavy.
Right? Yeah. And nevertheless, he has to do the heavy lifting this episode.
Yes.
Man, he got no luck this episode.
None.
No love for Wesley. At least he got to go to the ballet. Lauren didn't even get to go to the ballet.
Right. So Wes explains that the spell has to be maintained. It's not something that can just be maintained on its own. It has to be something that a person has to have a well of power and concentration, active concentration to maintain.
It was pretty well summed up. He enters and he says, he was a wizard. He was obsessed with the girl. When he found her with the other man, he went insane with jealous rage, pulled her out of time, out of any reality beyond his theater company. He swore she would dance for him forever. And I really thought they were going to make Wesley get possessed and go on a jealous rampage again.
I kind of expected it.
For a moment, but I suppose, it's never too late. But that doesn't end up happening this episode.
Right.
He figures this is some kind of temporal anomaly that can't just exist, but it must be maintained, as you were saying. So to escape, they must drain the power. And Gunn's like, the man with the plan. And now one of the dramedy-faced demons jumps back up and splits into two demons, one laughing, one crying.
Yes.
Angel takes them both out very quickly by doing a double chokehold and snapping their necks. And so their bodies both double again. So
right.
As they kill them, they're coming back exponentially.
Yes.
That's not good.
No, it's not good.
And this starts to drain. That is kind of good because this starts to drain the power. And Wesley tells Angel to get the director and take out his power source while they work to put a strain on it. Quote of the day. Gunn's like, by making more monsters, man with the frightening plan.
Yes.
I enjoyed that.
Yes.
You're not real. Or I'm not real. Somebody here isn't real, and I suspect it's you. So if you're not real, then that means that my head came off back there and that I'm dead now. Dead.
So yeah, Angel takes off to go confront the wizard while the rest of them fight off minions. Wesley tells Gunn and Fred to stay together and get back. And Cordy looks to Wes and says, hope you're in a killing mood. And Wes says, I should do all right.
I should do all right. Because he didn't get the girl that he felt entitled to is kind of the subtext there.
Yeah.
It's okay for him to be disappointed, and he's being mature about it, though.
Yeah, he specifically says that those two should get back, Fred because she's not a fighter, and Gunn because he's injured. The rest of the moments in this episode that West has with Gunn and Fred, he's gracious. Like, he's obviously got hurt feelings, but he's not shitting on their parade. He's not
being butthurt and petty about it.
Right, exactly.
Which is lovely.
And you know what? Perfect timing. Lots of minions to take that fucking anger out on.
Absolutely. Yeah, you could see the pain on his face as he's suggesting to Fred and Gunn that they should stick together.
Yeah.
Because you think he's about to be like, Fred, Gunn, I'm going to need you to die.
Right.
Pokey in the face or something. But no, he's like, you two should stick together. And it's like, aw, he's being cool about it.
He is.
I mean, I maintain Fred and Gunn don't last long, and she does end up with Wesley. I still believe that to be how this ultimately goes down before the series ends. And I feel like they get at least a whole season of being a couple. I just don't remember how it goes down.
I don't fully remember how it goes down, but I know more than you do, and I don't want to talk about it.
Alrighty.
I don't want to accidentally spoil anything for you.
Okie dokie.
So Angel manages to get out a little bit from the back area and finds himself on the side of the stage. I don't know what the name of that is, like the wing, I guess.
I couldn't really tell what was going on here. I mean, if you're backstage in a wing, you're either stage right or you're stage left. It's just backstage.
Here's my quick question. If you are looking at the stage, which side is stage right and which side is stage left?
If you're looking at the stage from the audience, then it's reversed. To your actual directions.
So yeah,
because the stage directions are oriented from the performer's perspective.
That makes sense. And so that means that right now this scene takes place stage left.
Okay.
Because the prima ballerina is standing there looking at the performance.
At the stage from stage left. Yep. That's correct.
And so, yeah, they have this little conversation. She explains that she's trapped. She blames herself for what has happened, because she hesitated to run away with Stefan. She didn't run when she knew she should have because she wanted to dance. This is when she goes through and explains that it isn't the same it isn't the same dance, it isn't the same show, it's the exact same performance, because early in the show, at one of the first dances, she slips a little, and she slips every single time. Mm-hmm. She points out that Kurskov doesn't know shit about ballet, and he doesn't notice that she stumbled in that part. Mm-hmm. She tells Angel about it all being the same performance because he is like, yeah, but you get to dance, is trying to like get a silver lining.
You got something out of it, right? Because you wanted to stay so you could dance.
She's like, no, it's actually a special hell because I make that exact same mistake every single time, and I've been doing it for 100 fucking years.
Just a carbon copy of the same performance every time. There's no creative fulfillment.
Right. And I can only imagine the kind of hell that is, to know that you're like, the moment you're dancing and you know you're going to make that mistake and you're trying everything in your power to not, but you do anyway.
Yeah.
That would be hell. Damn.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Luckily, it's not the actual hell. It's just a fake temporary hell.
Yes.
Because there's no way he could have kept this up forever. 100 years, sure. But forever, no.
Right.
No.
It sure as hell not any longer than tonight.
Yeah. I mean, 100 years is still 100 years too fucking long.
Yeah. Oh, God, yeah.
Because, man, she just looks dead inside on her face the whole time.
Also, like, can you imagine being that dude and just watching the same ballet performance over and over again for 100 fucking years?
Yeah, you'd think he'd just get bored of it too.
Right?
That's kind of annoying. Anyway, cut back to the A-team. They continue to fight. Wesley cries out that it has to be weakening his hold. Back to the ballet. Angel tells her she can make it stop. She just has to do something different because he's losing his grip on his power. And I guess that makes sense because, she can't do anything different before because his power is at full force.
Exactly.
But now that they're weakening it, she can step outside of that and do something different to weaken it even more.
Right.
So she makes her entrance and apparently does something different, giving Angel an opening to leap up to the director's box, grab him by the lapels, demand the location of his power source, and then just guess anyway and punches out the jewel in his super pretentious ascot or whatever the fuck that thing was.
Like, it is super fucking gaudy, giant ruby thing around his neck.
Yeah, it's like, okay, and Dracula.
Like, oh, I wonder what his fucking power source could be. It's such a mystery.
Yeah. So the demons all disappear, and the dancer lady does a swan bow and fades away into the ether. The director is like, "You have no right! She danced only for me!" And quote of the day, Angel's like, "Oh yeah, you love her that much?" Bam! Start a website. Punches him in the face real hard, like.
I'm curious, like, so if he's in the audience, then he's outside of the spell itself. Like, how is he not aging?
I don't know. I'm not a fantasy world temporal mechanics guy.
Valid. I got a guy. I'll go.
Okay.
I'll go confer with him.
Cool. So we're back at the Hyperion. Wesley checks out Gunn's wound and offers him something for the pain, but he's not feeling any pain because he's high on the endorphins of making out with a major hottie.
Yes.
Angel and Cordelia agree to never talk about what happened, but since Angel says he wants to wipe it from his memory, they instead immediately talk about it.
Right.
Because Cordelia thinks that he means it was gross or something, but no, obviously he's in love with her, and he's about to admit that, but then Cordy spots Grusselog behind Angel.
That was the mysterious stranger at the door that Lauren met.
Indeed, and she runs to him and kisses him passionately. Lauren pops in and explains some shit went down in Pylea or whatever, and he came to find her as soon as he could.
Yeah, Gru got deposed, and there was a People's Republic established. Mm-hmm. So no longer a monarchy.
Yeah, I mean...
And then he had to come to Earth to find his true love.
I wasn't too terribly worried about the politics of Pylea.
Right.
But I suppose they did need to explain that because there's those nerds out there that are going to be like, but he couldn't come back because blah, blah, blah. It's like, you know what? Shut up.
Right.
Is it that big a deal? It's like a whole season ago.
Right.
Come on. Or was it the very beginning of this season? I forget. I don't know.
I don't remember.
Exactly. Exactly.
It's been a long season.
So Fred and Wesley watch, and Fred's like, gosh, you never can predict these sorts of things, can you? And Wes, with his crazy sad puppy dog face, is like, nope, I guess you can't. Grarg.
Is this for me? I must be ready. I need my strength. Give me more! Night, I shall walk in the earth. Hold on. You've got something in your eye.
How'd you feel about this episode, Josh?
Oh, I liked the idea of this episode. This episode was super steamy hot. A lot of shit went down, like... Fred and Gunn finally made a move. We got a lot of sexual tension between Angel and Cordelia coming out of the woodwork. Like, we kind of felt like there was something brewing, but this is that coming to a boil this episode. And they're still leaving us a little blue-balled on it. Like, ooh, we still have to resolve that because now we got Gru in the way. And we got to resolve... And now we've got Fred and Gunn's relationship to work on, so some stuff to look forward to. I did feel like the formatting and pacing of the episode felt weird and off to me because it felt like they wanted it to be longer, but then had to wrap it up real quick.
Yeah, I did get a little bit of that. I think overall it was paced a lot better than most episodes we've been getting.
I'm not mad that they spent... I think it's because they wanted to spend more time with Angel and Cordelia being super hot and steamy.
Yeah.
And I'm not mad that we got more of that than we did of these creepy dramedy demons, because they were fun in their own right. And I kind of would have liked to have had a little more of a horror episode surrounding them.
Right.
But they ended up just being this minor inconvenience and the solution to the problem.
So looking at behind the scenes information about this episode, the entire reason this episode existed is the showrunners found out that Amy Ackerson, Fred, did ballet for 15 years. And thought that was really cool. But then also decided, you know what if the gang goes to the ballet? They get to dress up. I want to dress them up all fancy. And that was the entire fucking start of the entire episode.
Interesting.
And I think that, like, from that standpoint, well, they executed that well. And honestly, for being such a flimsy reason to have an episode, it was really fucking good, all things considered.
Seems like you find out that somebody did ballet for 15 years, you would want them to dance in the episode.
Right. I thought that too, but like...
But whatever.
Yeah.
You know, I guess you don't have to, and they didn't, and it was fine.
Yeah. But I think overall, I was pretty happy with the episode.
Yeah, I didn't hate it.
I enjoyed it quite a bit. It was distracting.
I'm not sure if it passes the
Bechdel test.
The Bechdel test.
Oh, profoundly does not. There isn't a moment where Fred and Cordy talk to each other not about just guys. That
guys.
They have the brief moment in the shop scene where they're talking about just the dresses, but it's completely shattered because they immediately just shift to talking about guys.
Yeah. But I don't think, other than that, I didn't find it too cringy other than the couple of spots that we noted. Nothing went entirely super off the rails, out of line.
No,
so
they,
for the most part, good job.
There was a high potential that shit with Cordy and Angel could have gotten cringy if they had executed that poorly. But no, that was fantastic. Very believable in how they executed it, and the chemistry between those two actors is fucking amazing.
Yeah. Still pretty confused about Lauren being like, "No, you gotta tie that down. You gotta
right, yeah. Like that is the wrong advice, Lauren.
You gotta go for that. If you don't, you'll always wonder." It's like, we'll all be dead.
I know that he's supposed to go evil at least one other time. So it's coming. I don't remember where.
It's his whole thing. Is it coming? I'm sorry. I'm not sorry.
He's gonna go evil at least one more time in this show. I know that for a fact, and I really hope. I would be perfectly okay with what Lauren has said in this episode if later, when Angel turns evil, Lauren is legitimately like, "Oh my God, how did this happen?" For some reason, he doesn't know. And I think that could be funny. But, especially if we get a scene where Lauren is just like, "I have been living here this whole time and none of you told me this."
How did I not know this? Yeah. How did you not know this?
And that could be funny. But
why are we paying you to be a psychic? Oh, we're not paying you. Never mind. Yeah. You're just living here rent-free because we destroyed your bar.
Twice.
Kind of owe you, I guess. You're welcome. But
destroyed it twice, man.
Twice.
Not
just once.
Didn't even get to open it the second time.
Well, what's your quote of the day, Rex?
I am going to have to go with the first time they leave the dressing room when Cordy's like, "Open the damn door." And Angel replies with, "It's kind of hard." And then her response, "Kind of noticed." Yep.
So,
because it's such a blatant dick joke.
Oh yeah.
That, I did not expect it. I really just did not expect it.
It was well placed.
Yes, it was perfectly executed. Blatant dick joke.
Absolutely.
And what's your quote of the day?
While I love things that are highly inappropriate.
You do, in fact.
So my first instinct is to go with Fred's line where Wes says, "Someone's in pain," and Fred says either that or "someone's in fun."
That was my runner-up.
But I'm actually going to go with, because for some reason I like this better. Wesley, when he's fighting the demon and stabs him, "Who's laughing now?" The guy's because he's a laughing demon.
Right.
Well, but I still win.
Yes.
I like that better for some reason.
And you know what? Wes needs a little bit of a win in this episode.
Right?
At least a tiny one.
Yeah. And he did.
Yeah.
That one right there. And that's about it.
The
poor bastard. Oh, well, you win some, you lose some.
That's what you get for not fucking talking to her first, man.
Right? Well, so this has been another episode of Ale with Angel. Don't forget to not follow us on Twitter. Continue to ghost them and just let them fall apart because it's a shit show. Like us on Facebook or follow us do the things that you do on Facebook. We're on Facebook.
Yes.
Way too much. I'm so sick of it. Except for, the Beer with Buffy page.
Yes.
I'm happy to interact with people there.
Every single time the Beer with Buffy group gives me a notification, I'm excited because it's going to be something ridiculous or funny or are just great. I
Ditto.
love it. I love
but other
it.
than that, I've just been doing a lot of doom scrolling, and I'm trying very actively to stay away from Facebook otherwise. So don't forget to not visit our shop. It's not there anymore, but we can take special requests for simple things like hoodies and T-shirts. And stickers still. We can still do stickers. If you want to support us financially, you can go to patreon.com/beerwithbuffy. We have a cat naming perk. We keep saying we're going to do other perks. Give us ideas for perks, guys.
We need more ideas.
We need some different perks. It's something to change things up a bit. Don't forget to review us on iTunes. Once we get to 75 reviews, we're going to give away a free hoodie.
Yes.
All you have to do is write a review. You're only eligible if you've written a review. And then, unfortunately, extra step, you have to take a snapshot of you writing that review to prove that you wrote it. And, so that we also have a contact information for you. And
we need to know who you are so that we can give you your prize.
Correct. Because we've had issues otherwise with people not responding and not having any way to contact them. So don't forget to, if you ever have any questions, comments, or concerns, you can email us at beerwithbuffy@gmail.com. If you want to contact us, you can leave us a voicemail at 269-743-0783. You can also text that number. Last but not least, big shout out to JJ Treadway for all of our opening, closing, and transitional music. This has been Ale with Angel. I'm Josh.
I'm Rex. Have a good night.
Keanu Speed, Rex.
Praise be with you.
You are the slayer. Lives depend upon you. I make allowances for your years, but I expect a certain amount of responsibility, and instead of which you enslave yourself to this cult.
You don't like the color?
You have a sacred birthright. You were chosen to destroy vampires, not to wave pom-poms at people.